Hey Jackson, it's so nice to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Elijah. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful. And thank you for honoring the invite, It means a whole lot, man. Okay, so I am quite excited to have Jackson on the show for some reasons, alright? Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking, because I believe in order to transition from a chaotic situation to that of a beautiful one now, it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. Secondly, I'm excited to have Jackson on the show because of my audience now. I believe there are some things that Jackson knows that some of my audience needs to hear you say these stuff, directly from your mouth, in order for them to experience transformation. I firmly believe that. And thirdly, that is me. I am convinced that I am going to learn one or two things from your story, your insight, and your experiences. So for that reason, Jackson, let us get started with your introduction and the journey, how the journey has been so far, the challenges that you faced and how you overcame them. And afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Jackson, over to you.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you for hosting, Elijah, and the audience. That's such an interesting topic these days. We've got billions of people, right, who can connect in from anywhere in the world, and listen to these topics. And I love that you focus on wisdom. And you said, I can't remember if you said clear knowledge or accurate, but you used a word that I was like, man, that's some good stuff right there. What you're focused on is, that's
Yeah,
the breakfast of champions.
I tell you, right, that's right. Okay, so can you talk to us about how the journey has been so far? The challenges that you faced and how you overcame those steps.
Yeah, for sure, of course. So, you know, for those who may not know, I run a program called Opportunities. And with Opportunities, it's not one that I talk about as often on shows as I talk about First Class Business and Vision Pros Live, our show. But Opportunities, it's a program that is designed as a free learning platform for anybody in the world to learn how to become an executive assistant or a virtual assistant, or what we also call digital ambassadors. My primary program for that is actually in Spanish. And the Spanish team that runs that now, it took me about 14 years to build that up. And what I realized was people that live in Peru and Colombia and Uruguay, other South American countries, they didn't know about LinkedIn.com. They didn't know that Canva existed. They don't know about Fiverr. They don't know about Upwork, right? They don't even know that those opportunities exist. And we're so blessed, Elijah, right, to have a podcast, to be able to use the internet and know there's opportunities throughout the world for us. So the goal with opportunities is to help people realize that those resources exist. And if they learn how to come to work on time, if they learn how to use the internet for work purposes, if they learn skills about how to do job interviews and how to use spreadsheets and how to do data entry, they already know how to do it. They're playing on Facebook, they're playing on WhatsApp, they know how to win Candy Crush, but maybe nobody's showing them how they can actually make money using the internet and helping and supporting small businesses. So that's that program, man. That's what I live for, is building that out and helping people with it. And I was blessed to be born in America, where I have parents who were diligent. My mom's a single mom of six. That's hard. How do you raise a family and also provide? As the sole income provider, she certainly had her struggles with that. But we were still born in a country where it's easy to start a business. We're born in a country, where we had a community of people with church who could support us and help us on that. So I don't take for granted how much easier my path is than so many others out there in life. But I do know what it's like to have it a little bit harder than some of my neighbors, right? And as such, if my life is going to be a little bit harder because life is harder for people with divorced parents based on statistics, then I have to be willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do in order to drive results and escape the failure rate of the statistics. And so I have to be willing to be more diligent. And if I am, what does that result in? That results in more peace and more prosperity and more blessings, whatever we want to call that. And that's really all we can do in our own life, is say, what am I going to do today to be my best self? And then learn to become grateful for whatever that outcome looks like. And for me, it's just thanks be to God, that I get to be here and do what I'm doing today. What can I learn from it? And how can I continue to move forward based on the path He's given me?
Oh, oh, amazing. You know, your words are sweetening, I tell you. I love it. I love it. Okay, you
Glad to hear.
mentioned some very powerful words. That part where you said you live for what you do, that's what you live for. You know, listening to
Yeah.
you speak now, you discovered a problem. And now I believe God is using you to provide a solution to that problem. And that is basically something that I look for in most people now. You know, when you want to discover a great leader, a good person now, they are always some
Mm.
way, somehow serving people a solution and, putting an end to a particular problem now. So I feel like yourself and your team, you're such a great asset to this world because you're doing a great job, I tell you. You're doing a great job. Okay. So,
Man, it's funny.
yeah, I tell you. Folks who are not familiar with LinkedIn.com, Canva, and all of the stuff that you're bringing it to them now. You're providing solution. That's
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 right.
amazing. I tell you, because not
Yeah.
many people would want to provide such solution the way you intended to. Some might want to look for ways to exploit them, and you're doing a great job. I
Mm.
must say that again. You're doing a fantastic one. Good job,
I
man.
want to.
Okay. Okay, so shall we get started with the questions? Okay. Can you explain
Let's do
what
it.
it means to be a power brand in the market? What does it mean to be a power
Yeah, of
brand in the market? Yeah.
course. To me, there's lots of ways to be a power brand, and I think we have to figure out what type of power do we want to exercise in life, right? And let's look at, the real world relationship of power. Love is a power, right? Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, Jesus, Gandhi. I don't know a lot about him, but I'm assuming that he also was really built around the process of love. The other power of hate, that's a power, right? Hitler. I mean, he made some tremendous success with what he was doing with hate. I don't know anybody else, so I'm not going to call out the whole world on who's doing what, but we know in our heart if what we're doing is coming from a centered position of love or hate. And we all have it within us. If I get hungry, right, and I get focused on my survival mode, then and I get irritated by somebody, then and I react and yell at somebody, well, that's hate. That's a low level of hate coming out. That's not a good power for me to utilize. So if you look at the animal kingdom, right, you got a lion on one side, and a lion's strength, it's already known, man. It doesn't have to roar at a gazelle, right, for the gazelle to freak out and know, holy crap, that's a lion. It just is. It's just powerful. It can be as quiet as can be. And you and I would, man, if I saw a lion, I'd piss my pants. I'd be like, oh no. There's just great strength there. There's no force involved. But then there's there's a chihuahua, right? Chihuahua's a little dog, and it's and that force of strength, it's actually a manifestation of how much strength it lacks, of the fact that it feels it needs to protect itself, right? And so even though power brands, back to it, being able to recognize what type of power brand you want to be. Do you want to be the loving brand or the hateful brand? Do you want to be the lion or do you want to be the chihuahua? All right. And for the rest of us listening in, do we want to work for the lion who's actually strong, or do we want to work for the chihuahua that yaps and yaps and yaps, that does all the talking but doesn't do any of the walking? right? We all benefit from understanding the value of power brands and understanding what type of brand we want to work with. And I know we all have it within us to become more powerful too. But brands in the market that are powerful, they tend to provide more stability and more certainty, more security for the people they work with. If they're not providing more security and more certainty, then I think they lack the power necessary to be great leaders.
I got that. I got that. That was a great one. Power brand. Okay. So we still have some questions here, Jackson. So
Yeah,
how do you help entrepreneurs unlock sustainable revenue growth for their businesses? Can you talk to us about that?
for sure. You mentioned that I discovered a problem, right, to solve for people. I did not discover that problem until after problems had discovered me in life. All right, I was flailing in life just like anybody else, trying to figure everything out and understand who I was and causing problems in the world, right? Problems discovered me because I was a problematic child, a problematic kid, a problematic young adult. And I continued to live a life where, I was creating more problems than I was solving. It took shifting my attention to where I was really focused on helping others before I found a problem to solve. Right? That's when I found a meaningful problem to solve, is when I started to shift my focus on, hey, instead of looking at life for how can I get the most out of it, and selfishly, what's in it for me? What movie's going to make me feel good? Right? What girl should I date? What's going to make me have a lot of fun today? Right? I found lots of problems being selfish like that. Then I switched gears to focusing on solving problems for others. I've met a lot of entrepreneurs that still haven't figured that out. They're opening vape shops, or they're opening laundromats, or they're becoming real estate agents, or they're doing something cerebral that says, hey, I can make a lot of money doing this. They haven't truly focused on solving problems for others. And until we make that shift of focusing on who is our audience, how are we helping them, what are the problems we're solving for them, what are the opportunities we're creating for those people, if the entrepreneur never makes that shift, they're probably never going to find something sustainable that they're also proud of. Very important that we do that. So how do we find sustainable revenue growth? A lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, a lot of compassion, a lot of caring, again, for the needs of those that we serve, and being able to learn how to communicate about it. There's no one size fits all answer. It is a hard process. And as long as people want the easy route or think they can discover what that means within 5 to 10 minutes, well, I recommend YouTube University. Keep finding your 5-minute segments, but eventually you might come to a point in life where you're tired of chasing the fads, looking at the viral concepts and chasing the new program or the new technology or the new affiliate thing. When you finally burn out on all of those distractions in life, and you want to find out, all right, how can I become a better provider, a better leader, a better person? It's funny how that ends up guiding you to principles of sustainability. And it might be me, or it might be somebody else who guides you down that path. But if you want to find sustainability, look for people who appreciate the value of the depth of that concept and stay close to them.
Brilliant. I got that. Okay, Jackson. To bring this to an end, all right, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought, And to those ones who would like to reach out to you, learn more about what you do, maybe Jackson said something that resonated well with them and they would love to learn more. How can that be possible?
Yeah. I'd love to leave you with love. I mean, that's really it. Just love yourself, love those around you, learn to love, to give it, abundantly, and trust in the power of that force. Trust that will guide you to all of the strengths that you need in order to find what you're looking for. Success and marriage and family and personal well-being, religion, whatever's driving you in business. If we stay true to that principle, it's amazing what type of feeling we can have, what type of life we can create. And if you are a visionary, right? If you have a vision of helping others and serving people and wanting to give back, then don't hesitate to join us on visionproslive.com. Come be our guest. We're looking for all sorts of people. It could be a business owner who's got 100 million followers. It could be somebody who has the idea of what they want to do to help others. As long as you're striving to help others, there's this book. Oh man, I don't think I have it on my shelf, called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. Right? He lived in a remote village in Africa. He ended up reading a book on electricity and figuring out how to create a windmill for his tribe. And then he ended up going to MIT in the United States, blah, blah, blah. How cool would it have been had I been his first interview while he was still in that village, still figuring out how to create that electricity? Dude, that would change my life. That would be one of the coolest stories ever, in my opinion. So come and join us on Vision Pros Live, and let's all step up and continue to help people.
Beautiful. I feel like love is the greatest power brand that I can ever think of. Now you've taught me what power brand is now. You see, I'm beginning to use it because
I
I
love it. Use
believe, yeah, man, I believe if we all practice or live by love, a lot of bad things occur in this world would actually not be in existence. Because I wouldn't want to kill another person now because of love. I love this person
it.
now. I just can't do that. Terrorism, corruption, all of this bad stuff. So I got your point, man. That was a great one. So that's gonna be the end of the show, Jackson. Thank you for coming and thank you for impacting us with this amazing insight. It means a whole lot, man. Thank you.
Elijah, thanks for your leadership. This is amazing.
Yeah.